Welcome back to Dane Harden Martial Arts. Today we look at Chung-Mu pattern. Chungmu is named after this gentleman, Yi Sun-sin. Admiral Yi Sun-sin is a well-known hero in Korea, and his name, Chungmu, if you think about it, is really like call sign Maverick. It was a name or an honorific given to a lord of great valor in Korea. Yi Sun-sin, as an admiral, invented something called the KABUKISON. This is a picture of the KABUKISON, which was a precursor of the modern submarine or an armor-plated battleship. It was known as the Turtle. These 2-foot spikes prevented people from jumping on the ship from other ships. The dragon's head would emit sulfur smoke. It was equipped with about 20 cannons, had oars and sails, and could go on average about 6 or 7 knots. The front of the boat was reinforced and can be used to ram ships. The reason we're focusing on this is because Chungmu, or Yi Sun-sin himself, pictured here, was an admiral in the Korean Navy. He also fought in the Korean Army, but primarily his victories, which were many. In point of fact, he never lost a battle, ever, in his entire history. Something that Alexander the Great and even Napoleon really can't claim. He was undefeated in his victories at sea. So let's talk a little bit about Yi Sun-sin, call sign Chungmu. So the Sengoku Jidai, which was the Warring States period of Japan, has now come to an end. It's late in the 15th century, and after nearly 100 years of constant warring, Hideyoshi Toyotomi, who unified Japan, finds himself in command of hundreds of thousands of veteran samurai. It's at that point that he looks around and realizes he wants to spread the influence of Japan into China to try to take over that part of East Asia, which he makes the attempt by going through Korea. When he goes through the Korean peninsula, that would lead to the Imjin Wars. The Imjin Wars were fought on both land and sea, and it is the sea battles where Yi Sun-sin, admiral of the Korean Navy, would become legendary. He would utilize a technique called a crane formation, which would draw the Japanese out, and then he would envelop the Japanese ships, sinking them, cutting the Japanese supply lines and foods and supplies from reaching the Japanese troops who were on the Korean peninsula, slowly progressing up toward Pyongyang and eventually trying to get into China. Because of Yi Sun-sin's interventions at sea, he was able to destroy their ability to resupply, and he defeated Toyotomi Hideyoshi's army. Yi Sun-sin, pictured here, is a legend in Korea, call sign Chungmu. Chungmu is our pattern at First GYUP brown belt level and is required for promotion to black belt level. Something called Hyung. It means all previous hunks, starting at Chunji, working our way through Chungmu for the black belt examination. So let's take some time and discuss the movements in Chungmu. I deliberately slowed the hand movements on this recording per request of some of the subscribers so that you can more clearly see what it is that we're doing. The first two movements within Chungmu are an homage to the KABUKISON. Note that I'm covering above my head, much like the turtle shell, and I'm also striking with the lead hand, much like the battering ram. I add in a hand skill here on the side kick in order to distract. I've never been able to do aerial kicks slowly, so maybe that's something that I'll figure out at either a 9th or 10th dan level, but I'm not there yet. So in this pattern, you see I also clear space to the rear, which gives me more time on a jumping skill. As I move through on this next technique, I alternate into a snap kick to side kick, rather than the exact same technique to the exact same level twice in a row, something I feel gives you a bad habit. When we look at this, we finish with a left-handed punch, which is an homage to Yi Sun-sin's untimely death. This is a historical version of Chungmu that I found in researching this video. This is from 1959. It's an older version and is probably the most correct that I could find. I found at least a dozen variations on Chungmu pattern from different organizations, from International Taekwondo Federation, American Taekwondo Association, World Taekwondo Federation, Olympic Taekwondo. There are so many different variations, and each organization rightfully puts their spin, no pun intended, on this Hyung. So this pattern, as you can see, is more of a classic pattern. You begin to see the utilization of sine waves, which is something that we do, but we don't exaggerate the movement as much as some other styles do. I'll have a separate video explaining that in the future. Guys, thanks for watching Dane Harden Martial Arts on YouTube. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And remember, Kodo, the active way. See you next time as we explore Hyungs into the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th dan level.